Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. If we've not met before, my name's Danny. I'm on my journey to becoming a doctor. I am a first class biomedical science graduate and I've worked in the NHS as a HCA. I have applied to medicine multiple times and I have got 100% offers wherever I've gone to interview. I thought I would make this video to help you guys out and share with you what went well and how you guys should be preparing for your upcoming medicine interviews. Now, the majority of you watching this video aren't subscribed, and if this content does help you in any way, if you could click the subscribe button because it helps my channel grow and allows me to carry on making good content. Firstly, congratulations if you've got an invite to interview. It means that they've seen something special in your application and you're almost there. If you haven't had an interview yet, don't worry. You know, I was preparing weeks before I got my interview because sometimes some institutions and universities will only give you a week or two notice before you have to sit the interview, whether that be go to the interview or this year. A lot of them are done online via Zoom. This is definitely a time to celebrate, not panic, because now you're going to get another opportunity to show the med school what special qualities and traits you have, and believe me, if you've been invited to interview, it means you definitely have them. Now all you have left to do is prepare for it. Now generally, when answering interview questions, especially MMIs, you want to be clear and concise because you don't have a lot of time to give them the relevant information. Therefore, if you're waffling around, you're not going to be using the valuable time you have to gain all the marks. In the institutions I interviewed at, you had around 4 to 5 minutes to answer the questions, and occasionally there were follow-up questions, so it worked out about 2 to 3 minutes per question. This is why preparation is key, and I'm going to tell you how to do it properly in this video. Step 1. You're going to want to prepare a document, I use Word, and you're going to want to write down all the interview questions that you can find on the internet. It's important to do this because there is such a vast array of questions, such as hot medical topics or questions about your qualities as a person, and you're going to want to write these all down on the Word document. You're going to want to organise the document so that you have the most common questions at the top, such as why do you want to be a doctor? What are your strengths and your weaknesses, and why study medicine at this university or this institution? And the least likely questions to come up towards the bottom. This way, when you open the document, it refreshes your brain. Each university is different, and therefore you need to do your research beforehand on the university and what types of questions they ask. For example, when I interviewed at the University of Plymouth, they ask fairly straightforward questions such as, why do you want to be a doctor? How would you go about breaking bad news to a patient, and tell me about your strengths and your weaknesses. However, institutions such as Imperial will ask you more curved ball questions, for example, describe this object in front of you, and therefore it's important that you prepare for these types of questions as they're a little bit different to your straightforward questions. Great resources to use online are the Student Room, which is a forum where students post to, and this often has their experiences at such universities, and the Medic Portal, which has a very good bank of questions to start with if you don't know where to go. I've heard people say that you shouldn't prepare too much because you want to be honest and authentic when you answer the questions. However, if you do this, you're not going to be prepared well enough to answer all the types of questions. Now, I would suggest you do lots of preparation, and that the way that you make your answers authentic are by personalizing the answers to the questions. For example, if it asks you about communication and you work in a restaurant, draw on that experience and say, when I worked in the restaurant, I used to communicate with the bar staff and the chefs to ensure that we gave excellent service to our customers. This is similar in the NHS because as a doctor you'll be working alongside nurses and other healthcare professionals in a multidisciplinary team to provide excellent care to your patients. You can also practice sounding authentic, by taking a pause to think about the question before you answer it, and the way that you use your facial expression. Number 2, you want to prepare concise bullet points for each question. This is a way to make your answer sound more authentic, and you won't be that candidate that's stumbling for words because you've forgotten one line of a paragraph answer. If you can recall information just from key terms in bullet points, then you'll become one of the better candidates on the assessment day. Number 3, practice reading your answers aloud, whether that be in front of a mirror, to a family member, a friend, or a teacher. This will really help with your anxiety on the day, something that I know a lot of us struggle with if we're not used to speaking in public or in front of people that we don't know. Having someone there listening to your answers and how you deliver the answers is quite important, because they can tell you things that you may not have picked up on. This may be that you've got your arms crossed and you need to have a more neutral body position. The way I rehearsed was to another pupil that was applying to medicine, and we would read our answers to each other, and we would then discuss what we missed in the answer and how we would improve that next time. Number 4, if you can go to a mock interview, absolutely do so. The more you can emulate the actual day, the better. Often these are held in schools or at institutions close by, so universities often do run these if there's a medicine course there. It's not the end of the world if you can't get to these, but they do really help you prepare your mind for what you're going to, for what the MMI will be like on the day. Often you can practice your role play in these settings as well, which is something that's quite hard to emulate at home. Number 5, make sure you know your personal statement. This is because they will often ask you questions referring to experiences that you've talked about in your personal statement. They may ask to elaborate on your experience, or they may ask a curveball question. A curveball question that I got asked was, "You've seen this done well, as said in your personal statement. Can you give me an example of where you've seen a bad example of communication in a healthcare setting?" Now, if you prepare for this kind of thing beforehand, it can really help, but it's quite hard to know what to expect here. Therefore, the preparation on the other questions is important, because if you've spoken about bad example of communication in a different question, you can kind of link that back to this question. In general, the night before the interview, make sure you get some good rest. When you wake up in the morning, you have a nice, nutritious breakfast, and you're trying to get as relaxed as possible. When you turn up to the interview, make sure you're wearing smart clothes, whether you're going to the interview or you're having an online interview session. Make sure you're early, and you may feel nervous on the day. I always did whenever I had my interviews. Just remember that they've invited you there for a reason. You're meant to be there, and when you're nervous, all your preparation that you've done beforehand will come through and shine in the interview. If this video has helped you at all, then please give a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. It really helps my channel to grow. If you're interested in how I got 100% offers and you want to see my document on how I prepared, then comment down below. Also, let me know in the comments where you have applied to. I would love to know what my viewers are up to. I'm going to make videos on specific questions, so if that's what you're interested, make sure you're subscribed to get the notification. Thanks for subscribing. So good luck and go smash it.